Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Well, good afternoon. Nick Collier here, and we have a little addendum to the project, the pipe hole saw project. When he came to pick it up, we looked at it and he tried it out, and it turned out that the shaft that actually drives the hole saw was too short. So he had me buy, well, you know what? I'm going to come back because I got to answer that phone. So I think it was a 7-inch shaft. That definitely wasn't going to be long enough if you were going through a 10-inch piece of pipe. So we went and bought a piece of 1-inch drill rod, which it has a tolerance of 1 plus or minus 1 inch plus or minus 1/1000. So what I have to do is I have to put this in the lathe, and I have to figure out where my plus 1/1000 is, because what we need is 1/1000 under 1 inch. So once I find my plus 1/1000, I need to file it down, get everything fairly consistent, and then I'm going to take and turn both ends in different ways. You'll see what's going to happen there. So hang in there with me. We're going to be cutting some drill rod, and hey, subscribe too. We have fun here. Okay, first thing we're going to do is cut ourselves a center hole, and I'm going to have to go find one. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking for an area 24 inches that's going to be just 1/1000 under, and right now we're sitting at about 3/4 over right here, and we're just going to kind of go down the shaft a bit. There's half over. There's 1/4 over, so it's got just a slight taper to it. There's 1/4 over. Looks like we're over on every bit of it. 1/4 over. And that's right on 0. And that's right on 0. So I'm just thinking, and you probably can't see it, but the other end of this shaft is closer to 1 under than this end. So we're going to measure that end of the shaft, and let me see if I can get you to come around here. Okay, so this end of the shaft is closer to 1/1000 under, and he wants it 2 feet long. So there's 2 feet right there. So basically we just get started, and it's a fairly rough surface, which means that I could take some of this off fairly quickly without too much problem. Let's get this thing over here so we can look at it from this direction, and so it's out of my way. That's going to be better. Okay, so we're about a quarter of a thousandths under, so we need to go at least 3/4 more, but it's pretty consistent, and I'm fairly happy with it. All right, so I think what I want to do is maybe just sand the hell out of it and see how that's going to work. All right, we're about a thousandths under right there. And a little less than a thou there. A little less than a thou there. About a half, no, what are we at? About a half there. And about a half there. So this end is in pretty good shape. So starting about right here, we'll just continue to sand a little bit more. And I think we might have ourselves a ball game here. Okay, so we're going to, it's pretty warm, and I'm guessing once this thing cools down a bit, we'll drop down that quarter thousandths, and we'll be sitting at exactly 1.5 under. So let's just let her sit for a while and see what we come up with. We'll be back. Okay, so we've cut our shaft, and now we're trimming down the diameter of this part of the shaft to make the adapter so that you could put the drill on it and drill it. So we're going to take this down to about a 1/2 inch and go from there. Okay, so that other tip didn't work, so we're coming in with a insert, and I think we're going to be fine. Get a little oil on this, crank it. We're going to move a little slower too. and kiss that, and chamfer that edge and chamfer that one, and I think we'll be set to go. All right, well, this is going to be an easy one to set up, or, well, actually it wasn't easy to set up, but it will be easy to do because we're just doing 3 sides, so it's, you know, the calculation is not real complicated. But you know, I know it probably took me a good hour to get this thing in position and set up and ready to go. Now, it didn't have to be trammed in accurately or anything like that. I mean, all we're talking about is cutting some flats. So we're in pretty good shape there. Now that I've washed my hands, I'm going to put some gloves on. All right, so first thing we're going to do is let's bring this around so that the jaw is at the bottom. And then put this in. There we go. Slide this all the way in. And we'll be back. Okay, so let's set some aluminum chips in here so that it doesn't score the surface. I guess we need to open it a bit. There we go. Okay, get this squared up. I think we're set. Bring our table over, and we definitely got to bring it up nice and snug. We're going to bring our head back over to 0, and which way are we going here? There we go. Okay, there's that chicken again. That chicken's at the end of its life. But we're going to do this first. We're just looking for a slight flat. In fact, I'm going to take it out and just see what we end up with here. That might be too much. And that's certainly not enough. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's crank the table up to meet it. That is some hard-ass stuff, I'm telling you. It is cutting it, but it's not going to be happy about it. I think we're going to use a roughing bit. Okay, let's do this again. And I think I want to slow this thing down too. Take it up a little higher. Okay, that did it. Let's just make sure we're good. Clean off the excess. Looks very good to me. Let me take this apart. And we have a triangular shaped rod where we can hook the drill to, and the drill will have a positive grip to it. So now we spin this around and we come back in here and we turn this down to the right size and build and cut some threads for this, and we've pretty much got the project done. So I'll be back. All right, so we've cut our grip for the drill, and now we have to come into this side. But the problem is, well, not problem, but you know, the way we have to approach it is this side has to be absolutely concentric with the shaft itself. Otherwise, the cutting head will be off center and it won't cut right. So I think what we need to do is put the 4-jaw chuck in here and hook up the rod in the 4-jaw and get it totally squared up and then cut it. So it's time to take this head off and put the 4-jaw chuck on. All right, so we put our gripper in and get it set up. Put that back. That works. Jack our hoist up, bring it in. Okay, we've got our 4-jaw in, and I didn't notice that the battery went dead on the camera. So, but we've got it squared up, and we're down to moving about, oh, I don't know, 3 or 5 tenths as far as concentric is concerned. So we're ready to actually start machining. We'll pull this off. And I think as soon as I move this into to do something that's going to be in your way. Yep, sure enough. So we're going to move you up above. We'll be back in a second. We've got, let's put another tool in. And this side is going to have the threads on it. So we need to figure out what our threads are. I have a sketch over here of what we need to do. It looks like we got a 1/2 inch of threads at 495, 20 threads per inch. So let's see what we can do about threading that. Well, I thought about it. As luck would have it, I have got a die that'll run right down that. I don't have to single point it at all. Yippee! We're going to bring this back a bit. We can get this out of the way. All right, and I like to get my die started using a chuck head, and I'll show you where I'm going to go with that. We'll probably want to pull this just because it's going to be in the way. And we're going to use this as a guide to keep everything nice and square. A little bit of cutting oil. Let's flood this baby. And we can start our process. And what I do is I just keep pressure on that as it goes in. And it can't do anything but go in straight. and I know we want to bottom out on that, so we're going to turn this die around and run it in backwards, and that way we'll get a full bottom thread on it. All right. Let's go get a tool and see how it works. Well, it's too small, but that's not. I measured that fucker. All right, well, we'll fiddle with that later. So we're set up here. We're ready to go. Let's take it out of the lathe. Okay, Nick Collier here, and it's a couple weeks after that project was finished, and I realized, geez, I didn't do a finish to the project. So I've got the piece of bar stock. Of course, this is the scrap, and we're just going to talk about it real quick. It was a fun, easy little project. And the end part where I threaded it and it looked like it didn't fit, well, I forgot there was an adapter that goes onto that threading that adapts to the cutting head. We've already sent this off to the customer. He hasn't called back, so I'm assuming he's happy. We're off to more projects. We've got one this morning. We're going to be building a table for well, we're off to more projects. Hey, subscribe. We have fun here. And I'll send you a little email whenever I post a video, and I usually post one every week, sometimes two. So this is Nick Collier checking out.